Hello guys, I am Akash Biswas and you are watching Cricket Next. What if I told you that Team India will face Pakistan at a neutral venue and that too on Diwali? Well, it's going to be a reality. On 1st of November 2024, India will face Pakistan in a tournament that is making its comeback after 7 long years. Well, I'm talking about the renowned Hong Kong Sixes, which was last played in 2017 and is returning in 2024. Well, to discuss more about this tournament, today I have with me the Director of Cricket Operations of Cricket Hong Kong China, Mr. Ravi Nagdev, and the Director of Marketing, Mr. Anurag Bhatnagar. Welcome, gentlemen, to CNN News 18. It's glad having you here. And we all know that the Hong Kong Sixers is making a grand comeback, I would say, after 7 long years. And what the memories what we have about about this tournament is the legends like Sachin Tendulkar, Shane Warne, and all of them playing during their peak days in taking part in this tournament. And after 2017, if I'm not wrong, it's going to make its comeback. And being an Indian cricket fan and an Indian cricket journalist, I also know that Team India is making a comeback. It's going to play Pakistan on 1st of November, but we'll come to all of them a bit later. But for the starters, my question is to Ravi, you that what made you guys to bring back this tournament, and what took so long?
Uh, well, obviously, you have great memories of sixes. For me, it's something that goes back to my childhood. The 1992 sixes, the first ever sixes, was the event. That's the first game of cricket I saw live. In a crowd. So the first sixes. So that's something that's engraved in my memory, and I think that's where the love of the game and love of events started for me. Uh, Obviously, with the changing landscape right now, with T20 cricket kind of dominating, with franchise cricket being around, I think it was important that when sixes does make a comeback, it's done properly. It's not we make sure that it has to be different. It has to be something that stands on its own. It has to be something that's brings its uniqueness that sixes had, which is a nation versus nation tournament, and we should retain that. At the same time, it also is able to match the excitement and even surpass the excitement that the old sixes used to bring as well.
Okay, great, and we are also looking forward to this exciting tournament. But excitement will be there, I'm sure. But moving ahead, Anurag, I would like to ask you that what were the challenges to reignite this tournament right from the scratch? Because as in the beginning I said, what we remember of this tournament is the legends playing the game. But in the past 7 years, a lot has changed in the international cricket. In different teams, people have retired, the new generation have come up, and the style of cricketing has changed, with too many leagues all around the world coming into existence and making this game more exciting. So in that scenario, in that in that ecosystem, what was the what were the challenges for you guys to bring it back?
Right. First of all, thank you, Akash, for having us. Uh, just to set the context right. Now, Cricket Hong Kong Sixes was conceived and executed in the first edition was in 1992, which was long before the advent of T20 cricket. The first international T20 women's game was played in 2004, and the first men's game was in 2005. So we conceived this fast, short format of the game long before the advent of T20. But obviously, over the years, T20 has taken root. It's growing rapidly. So the challenge that you said, first of all, was to actually find relevance for this format, which is much shorter, as you know, 6 overs aside, a game gets over in 50 minutes, whether there was relevance at all for this. We believe that there is, and there will continue to be, because we are catering not just to the present generation, but also to the younger generations whose attention spans are much more limited these days. It is great for television because there's action from ball one right up to the end of the 50-minute period. And it's going to be nation versus nation, So it's a great atmosphere. It's a festive atmosphere. We are actually targeting it towards not just the existing cricket lovers, but also for future generations. The challenges that we faced, obviously, going into this tournament was getting it back up to a level which was unprecedented because we want an audience, television and live audience, that would get a spectacle that would match what they see in other parts of the world. So the scale had to be much greater than what was in the past. So everything had to be brought to that level. So obviously, financially was a challenge because we are an associate member country. We don't have the war chest that the major countries do. So the finance was one major challenge. The second was getting the boards on board with an event in the middle of their exhaustive international calendar. And we were pleased that every board that we approached supported this 100%. So we've overcome that challenge as well. Then the third challenge that we foresaw was whether there would be interest for television coverage, given the packed calendars that they already have. Again, uh, happy to say that we have Disney Star that will be covering it and their associates. And of course, it's going to be beamed across the world with whatever agreements that they have in place. So these were the challenges, and we've glad to say that we've overcome all of them, and we're all ready to go.
Yeah, nice. And since the tournament is taking shape again, I would also like to take a lowdown of the venue that will be hosting this tournament. 3 day long. It starts on November 1st, ends on November 3. So, how are the arrangements over there, and what kind of a stadium it's hosting this event?
So Hong Kong doesn't have a dedicated cricket stadium at this stage.
Okay.
There are plans in the offing to have one later. So the challenge again, this was one to build an arena that would be again appear world class uh, to a global audience. So we have a dedicated cricket ground that is of, as per ICC dimensions, and that can host international games. So what we are doing is we are creating an entire stadia which will resemble an arena, uh,
Okay.
close to the action. People will be very close to the action, with television coverage, television towers being erected. So we're building everything from ground up for this event.
Nice, nice, nice. All these details are making me excited about the tournament. Well, Ravi, coming back to you, the team division is pretty interesting. As I could check the team groupings, India and Pakistan have been grouped together. And like I mentioned at the beginning of beginning of the interview, that India versus Pakistan, November 1st. For us, the Indian cricket fans, it's a huge, huge moment, when India and Pakistan faces each other, because right now in the current scenario, they are just confined to the ICC tournaments or the multi-nation tournaments. But Hong Kong Sixes will be another platform where the fans will be able to see India taking on Pakistan. So how excited you guys are for this particular game?
Oh,
This is I'm
definitely.
asking from a Indian cricket fans perspective.
Completely, as an Indian cricket fan, a person of Indian origin as well. I think India Pakistan game played anywhere. It's very exciting. Again, my a lot of my memories of the Sixes are cheering for India when India plays, and of course cheering for Hong Kong when Hong Kong plays. But I think what's unique about this event, and which is great, is if you look at the schedule, is India Pakistan, and immediately after that is England Australia, which is as great a rivalry, as a cricket fan. And immediately after that is the newest rivalry, which is Bangladesh Sri Lanka, which, as we all
Yeah.
cricket fans know, that's been growing as well. So suddenly, where else in the world you get, in the span of 3-4 hours, these great rivalries back to back. It's you have one, you have the next, and you can then select which team you want to cheer. So I think this experience is something unique, and that's adds to the carnival atmosphere that this what the Hong Kong Sixes brings, where we have fans from India and Pakistan were cheering that game. Then we have the Australian English fans, you know, reacting in the way English fans react to Australians in England. You will have the boos for the opposition teams and the cheers for their home team, and then you will have the Sri Lankan drums and the Bangladeshi crowd as well. So I think it just all that boils down to a great atmosphere and a carnival atmosphere. So I think that's the uniqueness about this tournament, which I dare say you don't see anywhere else in the world.
No, and I'd just like to add to that, Akash, if I can. Akash,
Yeah, yeah, sure. Please
the
go
the
ahead.
fact of the matter is, w- see, the we've talked about the main member countries so far, but I think we have a very passionate fan base for Nepal as well.
Hmm.
Hmm.
For the UAE as well. So all these people will be seen live in action playing against the top teams in the world, the top cricket playing nations in the world. So that's going to be really, really exciting. And we are confident that we will have a lot of visibility in Nepal and other places as well.
Exactly. Well, I was coming to that point only when the countries like Oman, UAE, Nepal are also in the mix. And adding to that only, Anurag, I would like to answer my next question. Like as I said, the cricketing culture has pretty much evolved in the past years, and as far as the viewers are concerned, the perception of watching cricket has probably changed in the past year as well. And as we say, the Gen Z coming into the action, they want rapid cricket, they want very fast cricket. So do you think this tournament could be the spot on to hit their nerves, and so that this tournament could be celebrated with open hearts, or the people could welcome this tournament as as a for the future perspective?
I think,
Oh,
Anurag, I'll take that.
absolutely.
Uh, you take it. Yes. Sorry.
Okay, absolutely, Akash. I think you think about the present Gen Z. Okay, it's Instagram Reels, everything. Attention span is short. They want their information, they want their entertainment in a shorter span of time than perhaps the generation before them did. So this appeals directly to Gen Z, where cricket game, an entire cricket game finishes within 15 minutes. You have a result within 15 minutes. There's a lot of action. There's a lot of and it's once you have them hooked, cricket, it's a big boost for cricket because we need the younger generation, we need young blood, and cricket needs to adapt to Gen Z and their expectations as well. So absolutely, we think this will appeal to the younger generation a lot.
I'll add a little bit to that if I may,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
I think it's a
yeah,
great
please. Yeah, please.
what the cricket sixes is a great starting point. It's a point where dads and moms can take their children to go watch the game together. It's a short game, short format, so you don't need to force your kid to watch the game for 4 hours or 8 hours or a few days. You can it's something very quickly they can get hooked onto. And again, uh, personal experience and experience of people around me who have watched sixes when they were younger, I think it's a great starting point to catch on to the sport. And I think what this event it's really good for is to develop the game, especially in places where cricket is not a traditional or a mainstream sport. Somewhere like in Hong Kong or other upcoming nations. I think a format like this is a great attraction point. It gets eyeballs in. It's a celebration, and it gets people to try this new sport. And more often than not, we all know that cricket is a sport that once you get hooked on, then you're there for the long game.
Yeah, very well said, Ravi. Whenever Ravi is speaking about this tournament, his true emotions are coming out. Like someone is very passionate about cricket, and who has seen this tournament, grow older. So, Ravi, I would like to ask you if I may, any former cricketer from the 70s or 80s, if you want to bring back him to this time and make play to this tournament, who all would it be?
Oh, so I mean, I'll just go back to memories. I think one of the great memories I had is watching Wasim Akram bowl in the first sixes, and he broke the stumps. I think that is something in '92 I remember. Obviously, Sachin Tendulkar, watching him play, and 2004 when MS Dhoni played in
Yeah.
sixes, and he bowled uh, in a game. So he came as a keeper, but then I think after a while, one of the other bowlers were getting hit. So in one of the games, he decided not to keep, and he bowled her over, and we saw him display. And this is only before he played for India. So he was in the India A team at that time. He just come back from Kenya,
Yeah.
back to back 100. So I think these are, obviously we love to see, if we could them come back and play in the sixes, and I think we have some great lineup of players playing this year as well, and the teams that are sent in, the countries that are sending in, they're sending a great mix of experienced cricketers as well as upcoming players. So we'll hopefully see a future stars being played here first, as well as some great legends as well who we would love to watch live, where you don't people in Hong Kong don't get to see live as well. So I think it's a great combination.
Can I add to that, Akash, if I may?
Please.
So when you said 70s, 80s, right? Now think about it. If there was a wish list and we could get people from the 70s and 80s, think about what Vivian Richards would do here, what Ian Botham would do, what Kapil Dev would do. Richard Hadley bowling. So it's this is something that hopefully will create interest, generate interest, and build future stars. It has in the past. I mean, for example, when MS had come, he was already playing domestic cricket, but he hadn't made his India debut. So people had in Hong Kong first-hand experience of seeing a legend like MS Dhoni before he became the MS Dhoni. Like that, there are different stories. There are lots, not just from India. There are people who've come here from England before making the debut and then went on to play long for England, South Africa, Australia. You name the
Maxwell.
country, they've all been here, apart from the legends. Glenn Maxwell, yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. So these are legends that came here and played. So this is a foundation, I guess, for future stars, not just in terms of cricket, but also it gives them a lot of experience of travel, playing in foreign conditions, playing in new cities, new places. So that's the important part as well, along with the cricket itself.
Well, Anurag, speaking of the future prospects, as we were discussing before the interview, like this Hong Kong China region is now a growing market for the game called cricket. Like we saw last year, the Asian Games being conducted over there, and as the upcoming Olympics will also host the game of cricket, how do you think this particular tournament is going to be the stepping stone in that direction?
So a very interesting point. See, what has happened is that Asian Games, cricket has been played in the Asian Games for a few of them already. But I think the game changer for cricket in the region and the rest of the world is going to be its inclusion as a medal sport in the LA Olympics in 2028. So that's the first step. The next Olympics are in Brisbane, 2032. Being a cricket nation, likelihood that cricket will be an event medal sport there as well. And then following that, we see what happens. Given that situation, that is now a medal sport, surprisingly, China has started taking a lot of interest in cricket. We've seen development at the school level. We've seen development at the university level and the provincial level. And now provinces are building teams, ground up. They're creating facilities. There are excellent centers for cricket in China now. Universities have cricket programs. So all that is coming up. And more importantly, I think, more importantly in the sense commercially, is that China has seen the success of the IPL, of the BBL. So it brings in a lot of commercial angle to the sport as well. And it can be a game changer for the region. And the cricket sixes in Hong Kong is going to showcase that, not just to China, but to the rest of the region, East Asia as a whole. So we're very positive. We are very bullish about the future of cricket Hong Kong and cricket in the region as a whole because of the international cricket sixes that we are bringing back.
Absolutely, very well addressed that question. And Ravi, what's the current atmosphere back there, and how the locals are excited about this tournament?
Well, I think the buzz is it's been amazing since we have started announcing the teams, and I think everybody's very, very excited about it. I think we get our phones are in the office are ringing messages. I think we got a lot of. I think it's going to be a great weekend. I think it's a great atmosphere. It's Diwali. It's a time to celebrate. At the same time, it's also Halloween in Hong Kong is also celebrate. It's a weekend where everybody wants to. I think there's no better place and no better party to be at over the weekend than at the Hong Kong Sixes.
Exactly. And before we wrap up this conversation, I would like to ask both of you guys, like, how do you see since it's coming back after 7 years, what would you like to say about the sustainability of this tournament, especially when we have so many cricketing events happening around the world? But now that this tournament is coming back, how hopeful are you that this is going to be sustainable for the longer run?
Very hopeful. And I'll tell you why I say that. One is that the entire tournament is over in 3 days.
Yeah.
So it fits in well into the international calendar. Second is that it gives a platform for emerging players to come in and play, and not just play against people that they have been, the teams that they have been playing against, but the big names in the game. That gives great exposure, and I think this is something that is important to all cricketers, all boards, to send and give exposure to their people. So I think that this provides that platform. Number 3 is that this is a stepping stone for the future of cricket in the region. And number 4, commercially, for television, it's a made-for-television event. It's quick, fast, rapid fire for the Gen Z. So very positive, very excited about the future of this event.
Yeah. And, to me, I'll add just one thing to that. I think what makes this event unique is, apart from the format, apart of being six-a-side, it's a nation versus nation event. It could have very easily been another franchise event, and I think that's the temptation that is there most boards, and I think we held off on that. I think cricket, as is one of the most passionate things, like as you said, India, Pakistan, England, Australia. The nation based rivalries is something that is unique to cricket compared to other sports, and I think it embraces that, and it takes it to a different level. So I think that's probably what makes the tournament more unique compared to all the other tournaments around the world, and I think that's probably will help its sustainability as well in the long run and its growth.
Okay, well, gentlemen, it was very nice talking to you. I could very well grasp the flavor of this tournament, and I'm very much looking forward to it. And before we say goodbye, I would like you guys to name your dream, Hong Kong Sixers lineup. Ravi, you may go first. A dream Hong Kong Sixers lineup. Which 6 players would you like to choose?
So it can be any team, or it has to be from one.
From which country?
Yeah, which country?
Yeah, it could be any. You just make a team of 6 players. Pick. You are free to pick from all the countries, all
Any
the participating nations.
Any generation.
Yeah. Any generation. All-time best Hong Kong Sixers lineup.
Wow. All right. Without Anurag, you have time to think about it. But obviously, MS Dhoni will captain the team. No question about it. Sachin will play because he can bowl a bit as well, and I think all-rounders definitely formatted. And you'll pick Wasim Akram for sure. I'll pick Jack Callis any day. as one of the best all rounders. Uh, I'll I'll add Kapil Dev and one more player if I have to name. Uh, I name Shane Warne. I mean, Shane Warne.
Wow, wow, what a strong side. Now, Anurag, it's your turn.
Okay, can I use some of the once common names that he's already addressed?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, go on,
so
go on.
my ideal team. See, my ideal team. You need people who can bowl. You need people who can bat and do that fast. So mine would be Sir Gary Sobers. There would be Kapil Dev.
Okay.
There would be Sachin Tendulkar. There would be Glenn Maxwell, Jacques Callis, and Ian Botham. And then two more players, if I can name. There would be an Imran Khan, and I'll take Richard Hadley.
That's a legendary Hong Kong success side, I would say. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for your precious time. I wish you all the best, and and I wish you all the best to make this Hong Kong success a huge success. And I hope that we keep on talking about cricket more than often. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Akash.
Thank you very much, Akash, for having us with you. Thank you.
Thank you.